I realize there are huge stories out there between the assassination attempt, Joe Biden dropping out, Secret Service director testifying before Congress. And on a day like today, I'm sitting down, it's me, Matt, John, our producers, our production staff. We're trying to figure out how to put together a great show for you. We're talking about where do we begin? Where do you even begin with all these huge stories? So I thought the important thing was to keep the most important thing the first thing, all right? So without further ado, this is what I want to focus on first. Mr. Producer, write this one down, please. Joe Biden is not running for re-election. I am very, very sure about that. Joe Biden's not running for office again. The system is going to come to Joe Biden, and they're going to tap him on the shoulder, and they're going to say, Joe, we need you to go. Can't run. The system is going to force Joe Biden, maybe not to resign, but to not run again. They're going to force him to not run again because the system only has one purpose. You and I have talked about this a million times. What is that purpose? The system's only job is to protect itself. Sorry, I'm soaking it all in. I'm just soaking in the Oracle, doing what oracles do. Okay, no, all right, stop. I'm not going to be as obnoxious as you think I'm going to be. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty. Why did I know that? Why have I been calling this for over 2 years, almost 3 years? I've been telling you this is the case. Well, let me explain. You cannot ever, ever, ever understand what you see, understand the why behind all the things that happen every day. You can never understand it until you understand and accept this. The system, that's what I call it. It's all the institutions in our society becoming corrupted and then working together now in their corruption. That's what I call the system. The system is large. It is communist for the most part. It is evil. And it is much, 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 much more powerful than any one man or any one position. Any one man or any one position, whether it be President of the United States of America, Republican or Democrat, it could be the richest man in the world, you could pick whoever you want. The system itself is more evil and more powerful than any one man. And the system only exists, as I said in that video, for one purpose, to protect itself. Its entire existence, everything it does, is all about protecting itself. Therefore, the system holds no fear of anybody, not real fear. And the system, more importantly for our purposes talking about Joe Biden, the system holds no loyalty to anybody else. I've given you this stat before, but it's true. When Pol Pot and his communists took over Cambodia, there's always a central committee. They always try to sell it as, we're run by a committee. The country is run by a committee. There was a central committee in Pol Pot's Cambodia. And there were 22 members of Pol Pot's Central Committee, the head communists who ran the country. And after 1 year, 18 of the 22 were dead. Corrupt, evil systems have no loyalty to anyone, presidents, senators, congressmen. They only exist to protect themselves. And Joe Biden has simply become a liability to the system. And that's why Joe Biden is gone. And so let's fast forward. Well, Joe Biden puts out a statement, because we're about to do a little weird hypothetical here. So Joe Biden puts out a statement. This is more than 24 hours ago. More than 24 hours ago, the President of the United States of America announced he's not running again. Well, it's been my intention to seek re-election. I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. Now, here's the question. Where is he? And you've heard all the rumors. Maybe you've taken part in all the rumors. Maybe he's really sick. What if he's dead? What if he's... But here, allow me to just do a little hypothetical before we move on to what the system's already doing when it comes to the successor, because I'm going to spoil a couple things for you. But before we do that, here's something. Joe Biden, I was talking to my wife about this morning. Joe Biden is old and really, really not healthy. Anyone who's gone through this in their own life, maybe you've gone through this, They've seen this before. He's not healthy. He doesn't, look, I'm not wishing death on the man. He doesn't have 10 years left. We all know that. When you start declining like that, it's bad. So Joe Biden's already not in the best of health. Joe Biden disappears. They, of course, put out a statement that he has COVID, something like that. And we'll never know if that's true. This administration has lied about everything forever. So let's just say, this is just a hypothetical. Let's just say Joe Biden is sick. And that's why we haven't seen him on camera saying anything about not running again. Okay. Now, the rumors are already flying. You've heard them. I've heard them. And who knows? But what if he is really sick? What if Joe Biden, God forbid, passes away before he can make a public statement? How does that look to the general public? It already looks like a palace coup where they very clearly did force Joe Biden out of the race. What if we never see Joe Biden speak again? What do you think the public's going to think happened there? And we're in the middle of this insanity is happening as I'm talking to you right now. And look, let me spoil something for everybody here, because there's a bunch of people right now who are trying to turn this into some fascinating game of chess for Democrats to see who the heir apparent's going to be. Look, okay, again, it's not your mommy's show, it's your daddy's show, so let me just give it to you right now. We don't have to do this, all right? It's Kamala Harris. Here's the deal. The system has already chosen Kamala Harris. The Clintons have lined up behind Kamala Harris. Pelosi's lined up behind Kamala Harris. Alex Soros has lined up behind Kamala Harris. Willie Brown has stood behind Kamala Harris several times. We know that the system has made its choice. So it's going to be Kamala Harris. It's going to be Dome. I know it. You know it. You better know it. It is. But here's the deal. Democrats have been rigging their primaries, their presidential primaries, for years, and their base is furious about it. Remember, they just really screwed Hillary Clinton out of the one where Barack Obama beat her in a primary. They changed all the rules to make sure Obama could win that one. They constantly changed the rules and mixed things up to deny Bernie Sanders the primary. They did that last time, the one Joe Biden won. Democrats always choose their candidate from up on high, and the candidate has already been chosen. It's Kamala Harris. The only debate we can have right now is who's going to be VP. But here's the deal. Democrats know they can't make it too obvious that Kamala Harris, that Dome has already been chosen. So then they're going to do this thing of, well, I'm going to try to earn the nomination, and we'll have like a mini primary at the convention, and they'll act like it's just, well, it's anyone's game here. It's not anyone's game here. It's Dome. It's already been Dome. You know that with the powers who have already lined up behind her. It's done, signed, sealed, delivered. And look, the media, they've got their marching orders too. They, like every other man, is lined up behind Dome.
I'm going to be really straightforward. If the Democrats want to give the White House back to Donald Trump, let them go into a nomination process, open nomination process, and disrespect and step over the first black woman vice president in this country, and they will be committing absolute suicide. Absolute suicide. That is the surefire way for Donald Trump to become president.
Now, let's wrap this up because we have so much we have to get to. Buck Sexton's going to join us, so he's got to eat a little crow. And Buck's such a great sport about this because we have a bet and he was wrong. Anyway, before we get to all that, let's wrap this thing up really quickly. We talk a lot about the system. We just had a long talk about the system, what they just did, pushed Joe Biden out, brought Harris in. We knew all that. People ask a lot, well, who's the system? Who's part of it? Well, first of all, understand the system is not one person. It's many, 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 many powerful people, most of them Democrats, almost all of them Democrats, billionaires, Democrat politicians. There's a committee, if you will. Just like every communist country, we have a committee of people from tech billionaires to Nancy Pelosi types, but that's who I actually want to focus on here. There's a lot of reporting out now about what Nancy Pelosi was doing behind closed doors. And she pretty much threatened Joe Biden, hey, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and the easy way just left. Nancy Pelosi, she's on the board of directors for the system, believe me. This is a very, very powerful, very ruthless woman. Been warning you about her for quite some time.